Let me guess. You are currently working 60 plus hours a week, and you've got that feeling that you need some help in your business, but you are not entirely sure how to get that help. You know you need help in the business, but you think that you should wait until you hit your next big milestone or your next new revenue cap, or something else happens, maybe you get another client, before you start to outsource. But I want to kind of give you a bit of a fact and a bit of a brutal truth. That next milestone isn't coming. And it's not that you're not good enough or that your business isn't good enough. It's just that you're the bottleneck in the business. Once you hit that milestone, you're going to want to hit another milestone. And the milestone and the goalpost will keep moving, and you will never outsource. You will never get the help that you need in your business if you think like this. So I want to fix that today in this episode. Did you know that around 75% of business owners struggle with delegation? And it sounds like such a stupid thing to say because it sounds so easy to do in theory. You need help, you hire someone, you get the help. And parent-led businesses are often the hardest kind of hit in this area. I find that parent-led businesses, we're in tuned and it's sort of ingrained in us to feel like we have to do everything ourselves. We shouldn't ask for help in our lives and in our businesses. And generally what happens is business owners wait until they hit crisis mode in their business where, you know, it's all or nothing before they outsource, when in reality should have outsourced before they ever got to crisis point. You don't want to get to crisis point in your business and realise that you've got too much work, too many clients, too many things going on, and you're spiralling and you burn out before you get that help. And obviously when businesses are starting out, so when you get a startup business or you're not earning a huge amount per year, every decision that you make is obviously going to feel riskier because that capital is up. You know, you want to hold on to every penny you've got. So every decision you make feels riskier, and that's completely understandable. But what we end up doing is playing a waiting game. I will hire someone when I can afford it. I can't grow until I hire. And you just end up in this constant spiral of never actually getting the help and never growing the business. And that mindset is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in that same box for the entirety of your business. And that's not what we want. I had a client, well, she's still a client of mine, who is a parent. She's got 3 children with autism. So she's obviously got a lot going on in her personal life. She is also running a very successful YouTube channel. She has a membership community as well with thousands of members in this community. And when I brought her on, she was burnt out, was probably putting it lightly, actually. She was so far beyond burnt out. She was getting sick all the time. Her family was suffering because she wanted to do her business, but obviously she couldn't do the videos for YouTube and sit for a couple of hours at a time recording when she's got this family and all of these things going on in the background. She had to keep choosing, what am I going to do? Is it going to be spend dinner with the kids or go out with the kids for the day? Or do I sit and record a video? And obviously 90% of the time she actually picked her family, which then meant that the YouTube videos weren't getting put out on time. People in the community were getting a bit pissed off because they were obviously paying a membership for videos and the videos weren't coming. So she was losing members in the community. She was losing followers on YouTube because they weren't reliably coming out in terms of the videos. And it was stressing her out, which was then impacting her family because she was stressed all the time. And it was just this never-ending cycle of what the fuck do I do? And then she got in contact with me. And we put a plan together. So originally when I started with her, it was just to take over sort of email management and a bit of the community management in Circle. So handling kind of the explosive stuff that was going off in the community. So, you know, just giving the people in the community a bit of a sounding board, essentially, and just kind of giving them a bit of an outlet for someone is here, many apologies. And we started doing that originally, and that was taking a little bit off her plate, but not enough. So I said to her, why don't I take over some of the editing for the, not for the YouTube videos, because they're pretty unedited anyway, but for your TikTok and your social media presence, let's do that as well. I said, and I can also take over email management as well, because you've got hundreds of emails that aren't read in here. And obviously, you know, people are posting in the community, they're not getting a response there, they're then emailing, so we're getting kind of double messages. I said, do you want me to take over the emails as well? Can you do that? Is that something you can do? Yes, of course, it's something I can do. So I took over her emails. Now I manage her email inbox. People know that it's me that's answering. I answer as myself, and it works perfectly. She's always got a clear inbox. Anything important is obviously labelled for her, but the majority of the emails I know how to deal with now. So she very rarely checks her email inbox now, because it's something that I do for her. I also do her TikTok videos, so I edit them, I schedule them, I cut the clips for her. I do all of that for her as well. And having all of that taken off her plate has allowed her to breathe. It's allowed her to realise that her business can run in the background without her. All she focuses on now is recording. So when she's got a spare half an hour or an hour in the evening, she can sit down when the kids have gone to bed and she can record, because she doesn't have to worry about all of the other stuff in the business that was causing her all the stress in the first place. She knows that everyone in the community is happy. If there are any major issues that are going on, I obviously report them to her, and 90% of the time I just deal with it now, because I've been working with her for such a long time. She even tells people in her YouTube videos about me, and says, if you need anything, contact Lucy. She can help you out. But that just shows you that when you've got a really good partnership with your VA, you don't have to just choose one thing for us to do. You can start with one thing, and then if you find that one thing is still not enough, bring more on, give us more work, build a partnership with us. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. Ideally, we want to have a relationship with you, and we want to be part of your business like I am with my clients. And there's a real cost to not outsourcing, if I haven't already shown with this client story of mine, is that every hour you spend on, I like to call them £10 tasks, because they're something that are the little things in the business. They're important, but they might be things that you don't like doing, or they're not in your zone of genius to do. They're little tasks, but they're the tasks that keep your business running in the background. The emails, the calendars, travel booking, customer service, answering messages on Facebook, answering Instagram messages, keeping in touch with clients, client management. All of these things are little things, but together they impact the entire business. They are the backbone of your business. Putting the content out there, or, you know, building your course or giving people a course, of course, that's why people are coming to you. But that's kind of your shop front, your course or your videos or your podcast. That's your shop front. It's everything else that's going on in the background that is your business, that's keeping your business afloat, that's bringing in the money. And that is the stuff that is getting parents and business owners bogged down, because they cannot do it all. And what happens is you will eventually burn out. You will hit a wall. You will realise that you cannot do it all. You will start to lose clients. You'll start to miss appointments. You'll miss that important email. You might end up having health issues because you're stressed, you're tired. Your family will be impacted because you're not spending enough time with them. Your marriage might start to be impacted if you're not spending enough time with your husband or your wife because you're spending too much time at work. There are so many things, and this is what we call the burnout tax. We don't want you to get to the burnout stage in your business before you ask for help. And you can't scale past your own capacity. As human beings, we are wired to only have a capacity for so much. We can only tolerate a certain amount of bullshit. We can only tolerate a certain amount of people being mean to us. You know, we all have our own personal tolerances for things, and it's the same in business. You have a maximum capacity, and your business will not grow and cannot grow when you hit maximum capacity. Eventually, as with all businesses, you only have to look at any business model in the world. Look at Royal Mail, DPD, for example, parcel companies. A parcel company like Royal Mail or DPD wouldn't be able to operate as they do if they didn't have drivers, they didn't have a sales team, they didn't have a management team, an HR team, people on the roads, they, have people out marketing for them. If it was just a one-man band, those businesses would not be those businesses that we know today. Amazon, it's not one guy sitting behind a computer. It's millions, I'm assuming. It's a global business. They've got bankers, they've got investors, they've got customer service agents, phone agents, warehouse workers, product makers, everything. It's not one guy sitting behind a computer. I think, is it Jeff Bezos that does Amazon? It's not Jeff Bezos doing Amazon. Although, funny story, actually, I used to work for Virgin Media when I was younger. When I was about 18, and it used to be TeleWest when I first started. It was taken over from TeleWest to Virgin Media when I was there. And I had a phone call. I was in customer service, and I had a phone call one day from someone really irate on the phone. I can't remember why he was angry about it, but he would not get off the phone until I put him through to Richard Branson. And when I really apologized to him, and I was like, I'm really sorry, but Richard Branson is not in the office. I've never met Richard Branson. I can't put you through to him. He's not here. I don't know him. And this guy was point blank refusing to get off the phone until I put him through. And at the time, we weren't allowed to hang up on customers either, unless they were being verbally abusive to us. We couldn't hang up. It would go against us. So I just had to kind of sit there and take this guy insisting to speak to Richard Branson. And just before he hung up, he said, if you can't put me through to him, you can tell that fucking Richard Branson I'm going to come up there and I'm going to fucking pop that balloon of his. So, yeah, the point of me telling you that was because, Richard Branson I don't think he even works at Virgin Media. He's just the name on Virgin Media. But, he's got his tele agents, sales agents, customer service, the road guys, it's not Richard Branson, despite the fact that this guy seemed to think it was. It's not Richard Branson that solely works at Virgin Media. Businesses cannot grow without outsourcing. And I'm guessing, as a parent or a parent-led business, didn't start your business to work more hours than you would have done in an office job. You might as well go and get an office job. You started it for freedom, for you, for your family, financial freedom. But without help, all you're going to do is just build a prison for yourself. You're going to build this never-ending prison, never-ending, time-sucking, life-sucking business. And it's just going to take all the joy out of it. So I think what I want you to do, little bit of homework, is to show yourself that hiring someone and outsourcing to someone isn't a cost, it's an investment. And I want you to get that in your head. I want you to get that little mantra in your head. Hiring a VA is not a cost, it's an investment in your business. And here's how you're going to prove it to yourself, essentially. I want you to calculate your hourly value, essentially. So we would maybe do that by taking your revenue goal and divide it by, say, 2,000 hours. That would equal your target hourly rate. So, for example, if you have £100,000 a year goal, £50 an hour is how much you probably are earning or should be earning to hit that goal per year. Audit your week is next. So track what you actually do in your business for 1 week. All the little tasks that you do. How many emails you answer. How many telephone calls you take. How many diary appointments you're making. How much time you're sitting at the computer doing everything in your business. And track it all. Get a spreadsheet, write it down minute by minute. And then categorize them in terms of things like, is this admin? Is it operations? Is it, recruitment? Is it marketing? Categorize everything that you've done that week. And add them up, how long you've spent on each task. So, for example, email management. How long has it taken you to do all of that admin work? And identify the tasks that cost less than your hourly rate to outsource. And one of the things with outsourcing as well is you don't need to hire full-time. A lot of people have this misconception that you need to hire full-time. You don't. You could just have someone come into your business for 2 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 10 hours a month if you wanted to. You could have whatever you want to have. Look at your tracker on what you've done that week and think, okay, well, I've spent 20 hours this week doing admin work. I could have outsourced that. That's 20 hours that I could have had back, that I could have been taking my kids out, going for a dinner date with my partner. That's an investment in your business. It's not a cost, it's an investment. Are those 20 hours worth revenue, or are they more worth your sanity? Because I'm guessing it's sanity. And if it is sanity, you should get some help in your business. And ask yourself the question, if you had 10 hours back in your business and you were needing to get £50 an hour, if you had 10 hours back in your business, could you generate more finances than the cost of that hire? So if your VA costs £30 an hour and you hire them for 10 hours, that's £300. Could you make £500 back in your business that month or that week that would cover the VA cost? Of course you could. And most of you listening could just probably by taking one more client. But you can't take one more client if you don't have the time to or the energy to. So we have this problem. So where do we stop the problem? We outsource, we grow. And you don't need a perfect cash flow to hire help. You need to be strategic in how you're thinking. So this is exactly what I've said to do here. Think about what it's costing you. Think about what it's worth to you to get that time back. And with your tracker that you've put together, what's the smallest amount of help that would make the biggest difference? Is it email management? Is it scheduling out your social media posts? Is it going through your calendar and making sure that you're attending meetings or rearranging meetings? What's going to make your brain free up a little bit? What's going to give your brain that breathing space so that you can take on that extra client to fund the VA that's helping you in your business? Pick one thing that's draining you. and outsource it. We need to start moving. Businesses need to start moving a mindset shift. We need to start getting a mindset shift. So I want you to do this today. I want you to have a mindset shift today from I can't afford help to I can't afford not to have help. Say it with me. From I can't afford help to I can't afford not to have help. It's not being lazy. It's being strategic. It's growing your business. So our action steps for this week that I want you to do: track your time, log everything that you're doing in your business. Everything. How many emails? Every single email. How long does it take you? How long does it take you to do all your calendars, your diaries, going through everything? How long does it take you to schedule social media posts, recording videos, creating content? Whatever it is that you do in your business, write it down and track it. Categorize it so that you can see exactly whether it's admin, marketing, sales, whatever. Or is it, the important stuff that you actually enjoy doing, like creating your courses or recording videos for YouTube, whatever it is. See where your hours are actually going. See what is sucking your time, what's draining you, and what you're not enjoying doing. And that is going to be your roadmap for what to outsource first. The rest will follow, and your VA is there to help and guide you as well. So we can have a look at your things that are going to be draining you and taking time. We might suggest things to you and say, would it be helpful if I did this for you? But that will come with working with a partner. Just to summarise this episode, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been helpful. Delegating and getting stuck in that feeling of, I can't delegate. Ooh. It is real, but it's not insurmountable. The cost of waiting to get help in your business is higher than the cost of hiring someone to come and help you. That's the most important thing. And I want you to, again, get it in your head to start small. Try 5 hours a week just to start. See how much time it gives you back. See what you get from it. And remember the mantra, from I can't afford help to I can't afford not to have help. That's the takeaway for this episode. Hope it's been good. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's given you a few little thinking spots for you. And I will see you on the next episode.